Geyser Grand is one of the landmarks, a historic landmark in this town. And the guy who knows the history of this area, this is Dan the man.
What's up? Hello, Rick. How you doing?
So Dan, tell him about your company, what you do.
I run Go Wild American Adventures. We're an outdoor recreation company focused on getting people outside in fun ways, instilling in them responsible recreation tactics, and mainly just trying to have a wild good time in the outdoors in Baker City. So another thing we do is what we call a Taste of History downtown walking tour. That is, we stop at local establishments trying to support the local community, and we do a history walk, as well as some tastings, vodka, wine, beer, cheese.
So why are we starting here? Let's go find out.
All right, we'll come in here. This is the U.S. Bank, sort of an odd first stop of a history tour, but the U.S. Bank here houses the Armstrong Nugget. The Armstrong Nugget is a good sort of indicator of what made Baker boom. Found in 1913 by a guy named George Armstrong. It's an 80.4 ounce gold nugget, today worth around $115,000, and it's right here displayed in this case.
Oh my gosh. So that's worth how much? $115,000 just for that big nugget in there, you guys. And then the poor guy actually went broke.
So the story goes, he sells the nugget to the bank at the time, and takes all that money, spends it on more prospecting, gold prospecting, and alcohol, and dies a poor drunk man.
So tell people, I mean, I think a lot of people know that gold was kind of what started Baker County, but kind of give us a picture of what this looks like.
All right, so people were passing through this area, Baker County, the Oregon Trail, for a long time, through the 1800s. Mid 1800, 1861, someone finds gold here, and that's what causes people to stop. Before that, they were passing through the Willamette Valley on the Oregon Trail. That starts sort of the gold craze. People start moving to this area, prospecting for gold, and that's what leads to this sort of magnificent downtown. 1910, we have 10,000 people in this town, third biggest city in Oregon. Today, we still have 10,000 people in this town.
So it hasn't grown a lot.
Yeah. So we sort of talk about these days, late 1800s to early 1900s, sort of the boom town days of Baker. It was the queen city of the Inland Empire, queen city of mines, and that really was the Baker City heyday. Yeah.
So in the day, back in the day, it was timber, it was gold, first gold, then timber, and agriculture, so cattle and
so the agriculture's throughout that, but yeah, gold, timber, then agriculture. And today we're still in a very heavily agricultural-based economy.
But timber's not what it used to be, obviously.
No, what with like regulations and sort of trying to get away from more of that resource extraction economy. We're trying to move away from that, but still agriculture.
So what drives Baker today? I know, in fact, we were talking to Tim with Travel Baker County, and he said that it's a $49 million industry, tourism, in Baker County. $49 million.
Right, yeah, which is huge.
Yeah.
And so that, I mean, especially folks like myself and the businesses we support too, are hoping tourism is sort of the next economy in Baker, this agricultural, and then maybe tourism's the next one, tourism. Yeah.
So what are you going to show us?
What am I going to show us from here?
Yeah.
So we're going to go out this door. We're going to look at a couple of our partner businesses we work with as we do this history walk. A little winery in Eastern Oregon, she's called the Cheese Fairy. She sells cheese. A local chocolatier, local distillery. I think you already went to the brewery. Then we're going to end at the Geyser Grand, which is sort of a remnant of that golden past.
All right, let's go.
All right. The geyser's across from us right now. It's a great sort of example of both the preservation efforts that have gone in this town, but also the gold boom that led to that sort of luxurious early 1900s. You can see it's pretty similar. I mean, I have some photos here I could show you, but it's very similar to how it once was. That sort of your picturesque sort of Hollywood Wild West.
And you guys, we're going to be doing a tour of that too, separately. So we'll be showing you inside and out, and the stained glass window is going to blow you away.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so where are we going from here, Dan?
All right, we're going to head into Copper Belt. This is a really cool local winery, only Oregon winery in the Snake River AVA, really only winery in Eastern Oregon. And we work with them. We take their wine on our tours. We take all our history tours here. And funny thing, my business partner at Go Wild, he's actually working behind the wine bar today. So he's serving two functions.
That's a heck of a beard you got going there, dude, you know? So talk to me, my man. Who are you?
I'm Pat, and right now I'm working at Copper Belt Winery, the tasting room, Baker City.
So tell me about the winery.
So the winery is about 25 miles west of here in the Keating Valley, and that's where the winemaker, Travis Cook, actually grew up. And so when he went to college and got his degree, he actually stayed in the Willamette Valley for a little while and established some vineyards there before coming back a little bit before 2010 and started growing grapes in Eastern Oregon, which is not necessarily the place you think about growing grapes.
Why do you want them to see Eastern Oregon? What is it here that people miss?
Well, I mean, it's not, when you think of Oregon, I think a lot of people think Oregon is a great place, but I think a lot of times you're thinking about Portland, the Willamette Valley, and then there's this whole other side of Oregon that is really relatively unknown. And we have these two great mountain ranges here that are very accessible. And what I think is the best part is that right now trails, especially on the west side of Oregon, are getting really crowded. I mean, you have to get permits just to go camping in some spots, you know. And out here, I mean, we just took a group out and you get a whole high mountain lake to yourself, which is not something you're going to get on the west side.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, cut that part out.
So how old are you?
I'm 27.
So what brings a 27-year-old to go, Baker, there's not a nightlife as much as in Portland. There's not all the, you know what I mean? Yeah. How do you measure your paycheck?
I measure it by pretty much how much fun I'm having on the job every day, which is usually quite a bit. And what keeps me here is that, like I said, it's not too crowded and it's unexplored, and there's a lot more to see and a lot more to show people, I guess.
Do you think more people your age are looking for that?
Yeah, I think there's kind of a pushback from being in the city and being surrounded by cell phones and screens, and I think people are wanting to get out a little more. They just don't remember how.
So you're here to show them?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So you're the cheese fairy?
Yes, yeah, I am. So I bring in cheese from all over the world, and I cut to order, do cheese plates that pair up with my brother's wines, and yes, I bring in fabulous cheese like Mimolette, nice French cheddar that wanted to be a Gouda, so real salty, nutty, and buttery.
So a cheese expert in Baker County. I think people might not think that would be something you'd have here.
No, well, I grew up here, born and raised, and so it was just kind of home for me already. And since my brother did wine, everybody kept saying, like, cheese and wine, they go together. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really, okay, I'll work with my brother.
What's the draw in Baker City?
You get a really nice, small home feel, and then, but you kind of still have your freedom, and it's not too far away from something, but far enough away.
Do you think people in the valley think sometimes that you're missing out here?
No, they're missing out. I've spent a lot of time away from Baker. That's what brought me back. I lived in Portland. I went to school in Corvallis. I moved to Colorado, spent a long time there. And it's a whole nother world over here. We're like in a little snow globe that's kind of created its own little community and comfort.
And you like that?
I love it. I want to raise my family here, and I'm so excited that I get to do this in Baker County. I love the look on people's faces when they walk in and they see this, and they're just like, I didn't expect this, and I get to do what I'm passionate about.
All right, but now we'll walk in, entrance over here. This is Glacier 45, sort of a new business in town, opened a couple years. They're doing great things. It's a huge tourist attraction. And they make some pretty good, not only vodka, but they're doing a gin. They're doing a bourbon. Yeah, sold.
So who's in charge here?
Well, I'm one of the owners.
You're one of the owners, and
Yeah,
your name
it's Kaylin.
So how did this all get started?
Oh, my husband. It was his dream, so I supported him.
So I'm curious about the name.
So it's the Glacier 45 comes from, we have a rock glacier up in the mountains, and that's where the water comes from, and then the 45th parallel. So that's how we came up with it.
So what are you famous for?
Our huckleberry. That's what we are famous for. Our huckleberry is our number one. We got a gold on it, and our vodkas. We're famous for our vodkas, and we're an all-natural company.
What does that mean?
So all of our product that we make is we use non-GMO kosher corn, and the flavors are 100% natural. So we don't add any chemicals, there's no sweeteners, it's strictly the pressings of whether it's the fruit or the vegetable that we use, and that's it. So we're really proud of what we're doing. So it's an ultra premium spirit, but it's an affordable price.
Well, of course you would have chocolate-covered chairs. Oh my word. Look at this. This is awesome.
So we're a chocolate shop and a gallery. We have chocolates that we make ourselves.
So why Baker County?
My husband and I both grew up here, and so this is a family enterprise. So my husband, my in-laws, and then...
Are people surprised that this is in Baker City?
Yes. So people will walk in and say, I can't believe this is in Baker. And I like to tell them, this is what I remember growing up here in this community, was places like this. And so there's kind of more of a revitalization to the way it was when we were growing up.
So Dan, thanks for showing us around.
Yeah, of course.
And historic tour from a kid. I like that. You're smart.
Yeah,
you got your nod.
I'm still learning.
You're still learning.
Yeah. So I heard Explorigans giving away an adventure package.
Yeah, we're going to bring some lucky person here for a long weekend, and they get to experience the place.
Great. Yeah. Well, we'd like to donate. We're going to donate a gift certificate.
Okay.
So usable on any of our tours.
You'll just help people decide what they want to do.
Yeah, give us a call. Check out our website, gowildusa.com. But yeah, check it out, and we'll get you hooked up.
All right, thanks, man. All
Right
right,
on.
thanks for
Yeah.
the tour.
Yeah,
See you
thank
later,
you.
buddy.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye, Dan. Who knew Baker had all that?
Oh my gosh, what a cool town.
The best part is I like how people are coming back. They grew up here, they see value in where they grew up, and they're willing to invest in that as a business. I think that's great.
Yeah, I think it says a lot, and I think we're seeing that a lot in these rural communities, is seeing the kids all come back, and it says a lot.
So we want to thank our sponsors, Travel Baker County. We couldn't be here without them. And
Toyota and your local Toyota dealers.
so without them, Toyota says, let's go places. That's their tagline. And because of them, we get to take you places like Baker County. We'll be back with more coming up in a little while.